Welcome to your Petty Friend podcast with me, Kevin, and
Nicolette.
And here we are, two crazies that have been friends for a very long time, sitting here and talking about anything and everything.
Yeah.
And just a little background, Nicolette and I have been friends for a very long time. We used to work together back in the music industry, and we can go into that more into detail later. But we suffered through a lot of ugly shit and then decided to stay friends after that. And here we are. That was like 6 or 7 years ago. 8 years ago.
Yeah.
2015.
Yeah. I think that's the most surprising thing about it. Because, we've gone through some stuff.
Yeah. We're alive to tell the tale of that time. That should be an episode.
Just that time when we first met?
Yeah. That
Ooh,
year.
I have so much to talk about on that. But yeah, that'll be an episode for sure.
Yeah.
For now, maybe we should just talk about what your petty friend is.
Sure. Your petty friend is an idea that I came up with, oh my God, in 2017, 2018. Really long story short, I got in a really petty argument with an ex-boyfriend's personal trainer. That sounds very LA now that I think about it. But it was such a stupid argument and it pissed me off so bad. And it was at a restaurant in the Valley, like in Studio City on Ventura Boulevard. And I went home and I came up with because him and I had gotten into it then and there in the moment. And you know, like, you get so angry sometimes you don't say everything that you need to say, but then after the fact, they all come into your head. I got in the shower, like, I went home after this conversation, this heated discussion, and got in the shower, and then it hit me like a lightning bolt, like, we're a petty friend. Like, if I have these thoughts, if I have this quick mouth, then other people probably do too. It's not just me.
Yeah.
And that's where it came from. And so it's become this whole, brand and idea that I've just run with. That's literally where it came from.
Yeah.
And at the time, that boyfriend was very unsupportive of the brand because he thought it was about him. And I had
Which feels very petty.
Right. But I had to explain to him, it was about your trainer, it wasn't about you. But for the longest time, I have t-shirts and hoodies. He would not wear them. He wasn't about it because he thought it was about him. Isn't that crazy?
I'm trying to remember which one this was. But we can discuss that later.
We don't have to name names. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that today.
I'm just like, wait, which?
Yeah. Well, it was the first one No, it was the second one that you knew of.
Okay.
Because there's like the one back when we worked together.
Yeah.
It was the one after that one.
Oh, okay. He was like the in-between boyfriend to me. He wasn't that long. I don't remember. You talking about Jake?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
He wore the hoodie though.
No, after. I had to
did?
explain to him that it wasn't about him.
Oh, okay.
He didn't like it at first.
Okay, we can bleep that out. I
Yeah,
think.
no, we should leave it in now. Who gives a shit? But that's where it came from. That's literally the history behind it.
Yeah, that's another thing that we can talk about for sure. Trainers in particular. I've had a few, and that can get really contentious, and I think it's like a special relationship almost.
I had one, and I love him, and he's great, and he's hot, and he's tall, and he's like the first one I ever had an interview with.
Well, I've had a few just
Yeah.
because I don't necessarily, I try them out, and I have a couple stories of just, this isn't working. But we can talk about that later. From my perspective of your petty friend, I remember when you first told me about it, you took me to Milk, you got me ice cream, and you laid this idea down, and you got me ice cream because it's like, I need your help.
I remember that.
But I just remember you going through it and explaining it to me, and what I thought of was all the petty arguments that I had while we were working together.
Yeah.
Because that was a very petty existence.
Yeah,
Just
petty
there was
time.
a lot of stuff during that time that got my mind going, because it was you and it was the concept of being petty, and it's just like, yeah, this makes sense to me. I think it's the concept of pettiness, especially in LA, is very prevalent.
Yeah.
And just
More and more every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the older we get, it's like, I'm trying to be less petty, but there's still that part of me that I'm like, if you mess with me, I can completely take this in a whole nother direction.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with just, at least like, that was my first job in LA. And yeah, just trying to, the brand has kind of changed and evolved, but from a visual perspective, I always wanted it to look very kind of chic and very like high fashion, but also some of the humor that came from that was just so dumb and ridiculous, because I kind of just feel that that's the LA experience to some degree.
Yeah. I feel like it's gotten worse for me the older I get. Like, I used to be very petty and I would never let anything go. And I've gotten better, but there's moments where I easily fall right back into how I was when I was younger. And I'm like, no, fuck this. Like, no. Like, I'm burning the whole bridge down. I don't give a fuck who's on the other end of it. I don't care if people are on it. It's going down. And is that the right way to be? No. But do I love it? Yeah.
Yeah. The concept of like, I'll burn this bridge down even if I'm on it, it's still prevalent for me to some degree. But I think for me to get to that point now, it has to be like really intense. Like, there has to be like a good reason. I think I'm a lot more patient now, but I also don't deal with the same stuff that I dealt with back then. Like, we were younger back then. It's just, you know, I don't know. I think growing up, you kind of have some maturity, but there's always going to be that part of you that can throw down if you need to.
Yeah, it's a good muscle to have.
I think so.
My therapist said, like, there was a time where I was actively trying to get rid of it, like the pettiness, and then he had to stop me and he was like, I actually think you like this part about yourself, and you should just accept that. And I was like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My therapist said something similar. It's just, you can call it pettiness, or you can just call it like, just no tolerance for bullshit.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. I've gotten really good at getting rid of it though. Like, I have a really small group of friends. I don't necessarily roll around with people I don't know. So like, only the small circle know me well enough to get through that protective layer that I built, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to be petty with my friends, because one, we're all petty with each other, but it's like out of humor and love and not out of like meanness.
Yeah.
So
that's a good
that's
section.
fine. That's a good summary of how it all started.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time I was working at Grindr.
Oh, that's
That's where it started, which is, you know, we can get into job history later.
Yeah, I have a lot of jobs, so that's
same.
Yeah, I think there's just one thing for me to add. I remember like in my 20s wanting to fit in, like as an introvert in like an extroverted kind of setting.
Sure.
And now I just don't care. And now I'm just like, I know who I am. I know that I like being at home, and I know I like my space. And I do keep I have like maybe 3 people that I know I could talk to at any given point if I'm like really struggling with something, and you're one of them.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is kind of either in this like business friendship sort of circle, or like acquaintance.
Like ring.
Yeah, there's rings.
Yeah.
Like there's very few people that are in like the ring that's closest to my heart, and then everybody else is like farther and farther away.
Right.
And then there's some people that are just very far away and unattainable, and that's okay too.
You
just have the circle.
And then
everybody else is like,
everyone is in the is in the center ring, and then everyone else is like outside. Like insiders and outsiders, and that's it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call them acquaintances. Like they're just people that I know, but that like I don't talk to you. Like they're like Instagram friends.
Yeah.
Like if I see you out, I'm like, hi, how are you? But like I'm not calling you, I'm not texting you, I'm not messaging you on Instagram, or like I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit different for me, I think, because I am a freelancer, so I do feel like I have to have a lot of like business acquaintance relationships that I have to constantly maintain in order to keep getting work. And I don't want that to sound so transactional, like I'm only friends with these people because I need money.
It kind of is though.
It kind of is, but I think that is sort of like, that's also part of being in LA.
Yeah.
Just everything is about like, it's about what you know and it's about what you can do, but it's also about who you know and who's like willing to give you a chance.
Give you a chance and like give you like that shot.
Yeah. I've been called a popular loner.
like a car on loan, or like a loner you're by yourself.
Like by myself, because I'll go into like a lot of like community type things where I'll join like I'll play a sport, or I will join like a group of people to be a part of like that community, but I don't necessarily engage with a lot of people in that community. So it'll be like a community of like 30, 40 people, and I'll talk to like 3 people. But I will keep going to just talk to those 3 people, and then everybody else has like a knowledge of who I am, but they might not necessarily know me on like a more deeper level.
Sure.
They just know like the Instagram version of me that I let them see.
Right.
And I think that is something to keep in mind constantly when you're in LA in particular, is that like everyone is just kind of a projection of who they are on Instagram.
Or no projection at all.
Or no projection.
They're like nothing like what you see on Instagram.
Right.
I've noticed that a lot more now than before.
Yeah, because everybody's got like, you know, their highlight reel on Instagram or whatever, or they're trying to like appeal to a certain audience. None of it is real. And then you actually like talk to them in real life, and yeah, I get where I can come off as like kind of a popular loner, because I do have like a lot of different communities that I'll hang out with, but like once I'm in those communities, I just kind of keep to myself a little bit.
You pick?
Yeah.
You cherry pick?
Yeah, I do. I cherry pick.
I mean, look, I applaud that you even do that. I've said this to you before, that you go out of your way to put yourself out there in these different communities that you want to be in, and that you consistently go and do them. And you'll go by yourself, and you'll go do these events, and you'll do these meetups and these industry things for yourself. Because I don't do that at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's you know, it's for survival.
Right. Well, I prefer to just stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But I was talking to Michael about it, and I was like, I whittled it down. I was like, I've distilled it enough, and I finally understand like me, which is, you know, I'm born and raised in LA. My whole family lives here. My 2 older sisters, my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my nieces, my nephew. We are all 15 to 20 minutes away from each other, like in the heart of LA. That growing up, I never felt the need to overcome somebody that I don't like. Meaning, I always had people to hang out with. My sisters, my parents, my cousins. So I never felt the need to continue to hang out with someone that I didn't like for the sake of having a friendship. I was like, I don't need this, it's fine. Like, I don't like, it's cool. We're not cool, we'll never be cool. That's okay, I'll never speak to you ever again. I'm totally fine with that. Because I have built-in friends.
Yeah.
But now as I get older, I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm like, because everyone here is a transplant. So you are kind of forced to make friends, to find your own family, and you know, have to work out issues and tensions for the sake of having people to do things with.
Yeah.
I never felt like I had to do that. And I still don't, because we still all live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I have like a bit of a opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. It's me. I'm the problem. I know.
My background is I grew up with just a lot of family. And I think part of the reason why I'm able to go into these communities and just kind of like participate and engage with the people I want to engage with is because like that's what I've been doing my entire life.
Right.
I've gone into like these family get-togethers where it's like I have cousins from so many, like I'll have a lot of family, and I'm not gonna get into that too much. Maybe I will at some point, but I just have like a lot of family, and I was always kind of like the odd one out anyway. It was just
Sure.
different because I was the girl that like played with all the boys.
Sure.
I was like artistic and more creative, and that's not exactly. There's some creatives in my family, but not to the same extent that it was like important to me. And so I just always kind of felt like the odd one out. And so now when I go into these other communities, I don't mind if I don't like talk to everybody,
Yeah.
or if not everybody has like a good sense of like who I am. I'm not trying to be everybody's friend. I just need to like get to know a couple people and then move on with my day.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I need to protect my energy. I need to protect
I think
my
I'm
peace.
a little more extreme than you, for sure.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why I'm able to just kind of go into these communities is just extremely has just so much to do with just the way I grew up, how I functioned back then. And I think in LA, it was more important for me to make friends because I mean, up until college, I didn't really have that many friends because I had so much family. It's like I had one good friend throughout like all of high school, and we still talk to this day. But everything else, it's like it wasn't until I moved to LA and realized I kind of needed to like separate myself from my family a little bit to kind of figure out who I was, that I did get into this headspace of like I need to be making friends. I need to be here, I need to be there, I need to like look cool or whatever. And now I look back on that and it's just like, ew.
Two of my closest friends are from high school, but one is from middle school. And like she knows me the best. And then the second one after her is from high school. And then of course like my sisters that we all went to school together.
Yeah.
So like it's crazy to look back and be like, I've known these people for so long and they've seen me, the different phases of Kevin and the way that I've grown up in front of them, because only they have the references of like what I was in high school, or what I was in middle school, what I was in high school. In college, I made one friend in 5 years of being there. Can you believe that? Who I still talk to. One. All those fucking people I went to school with, one person. And for me, that's like a win. I'm like, I did it. I had one friend who I still call, we still check in on each other. And she's the best.
That's good.
Yeah, but like...
But that's an accomplishment. And
No, I know, but I go for more longevity than I do for quantity.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I enjoy talking to people that I've known for a really long time. I love that. I have a hard time making that connection with new people and giving new people the opportunity to get to that level in my life. Like, I definitely know that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember when I felt that switch with you, and I think it was after.
Yeah, it was after we both left the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That day.
That day.
The day we both left. Yeah.
Because we were both let go pretty much around the same time.
No, the same day.
The same day? Was it the same day?
It was the same day at WeWork, remember?
But I had to stay.
You went first, and then I went second, but your deal was that you had to stay. That was my last day.
Yeah.
That was, what's funny though, it was my last day, but then they asked me to do all this work after. Remember that?
Oh, I don't
Do you remember
yeah,
that?
That sounds about right.
Because she moved houses she moved back to London.
Yeah.
And I had the master, I had created a master, inventory of everything in her house. and I was the one that had it. I was the only one that had it, and it was like a trade. It was like, you're gonna give me severance and I'll hand this over.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's how I was able to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a epitome, like the epitome. I don't know what I'm working with, but it's like a very like LA thing to do. Like you have to like fight and protect yourself.
Yeah.
So
that was worth it though.
Yeah.
That was worth it. I got a nice little check at the end of that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I did not.
I'm not going down without a fight.
Yeah, I wish I had more of a backbone back then, but I was
mad.
Yeah.
I was really mad.
I was very soft and sensitive, and I was like heartbroken about it.
I was mad because moving that house was not fun.
Yeah.
And it was the way that it was put on me was like how much effort that took to move a house of that size in like 4 weeks out of Brentwood to the UK, and it was me.
Yeah.
I was the one that had to do it all, and then when it was done, a week after, she was like, you know, I'm letting you go. You're done.
Yeah.
And then all her shit arrived, and the UK broke it. That fucking bitch. That's what she gets. and then her new assistant, remember him, the UK one?
Oh yeah, he lasted like a week.
He called me, or he was texting me, being like, "Do you have any photos of any of the furniture before it's shipped? Because it's like an insurance thing now." And I was like, "No, I don't. I'm good here. Can't help you out. I have nothing to do with this anymore."
That's so surprising to me that she never took photos of it, because it was kind of picturesque.
It was ugly.
It was picturesque in like an LA kind of way. I wouldn't call it
I think the home was really nice. I don't think
the way she set it up wasn't the best.
No, it wasn't. And all that ugly shit that she put in there.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I think, was from the UK.
Yeah.
She moved it over here, and then it went right back to where it came from. Ooh, get that shit out of here.
Yeah. But I don't know. I got some random stuff out of that move. So that was nice.
Same. Some stuff that's still in here. Actually.
A lot of that stuff is at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, mementos from like not a great time, but mementos.
I cherish them with every ounce of my being. Remember when this pencil holder was on my desk?
Yeah. There's a couple things. I don't remember exactly what I got. I got like these pig bookends that I really liked. They were like
I got a George Foreman girl. The one that
I used to cook.
The one that I would cook on every day.
I used to cook like every day for that. That was like my escape. I'm just like, you know, I'm kind of we're in this weird situation. But at least I get to cook every day.
What's crazy is I learned how to cook there, and I completely forgot how to do that. Like, now. I don't even know how to operate a George Foreman. I also don't have it anymore.
Okay.
I think it's in every home pit.
I'll have to teach you. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that taught you.
No, it was you.
Yeah.
With the foil, and you would make a little,
pouch.
A little pouch for it, and you put the asparagus on top of it.
Yeah.
And so it would cook it all at once.
That was my go-to meal for so long. I lost weight because of that.
It was that, or I would make a salad. Why was I cooking? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why was I? And I would cook for everybody. I would cook for you and Nico.
Yeah.
And myself.
Yeah.
But I was like chopping lettuce, and then I would cook the shrimp on the George Foreman. And I would Amazon Fresh things. That was like my biggest addiction working there. So we always had snacks, and one of them was like those pre-seasoned shrimp that I would just, with like the little butter cakes, like the little sticks of butter that were already in the package, and they would just melt on the George Foreman and season the shrimp.
I don't really remember that, but yeah.
Okay, but like, why was I doing that? I should have been working.
Well, so should have. I did that too. Like, I was doing that a lot too, and I would be working, or my job was different. Like, my job is much more like, I don't have to talk to people really. Like, I'm behind a computer and I design things and I have my headphones on, and it's more like, it's just very introverted work. Like, I'm not talking to people except for like my immediate team, because I'm making artwork for them. So it wasn't like a huge deal for me to take like time out of my day to do that, and it was a great way.
Yelled at.
Yeah, you were getting like,
the brunt.
yeah. So yeah, good times.
Never again. People ask me all the time, would you ever go back to music? I'm like, I don't think I'm the person for that.
It would depend on the situation. I think I'm older now. I felt in that particular position, I felt underqualified for the position that I was given. It was a lot of responsibility and I was doing my best at it, but I just wish that I had more experience before I was given all of that responsibility.
Sure.
And especially
that was everybody.
Yeah, that was everybody.
Isn't that wild? That wasn't just you, that was all of us.
And I think our boss in particular, I talked about this with another old coworker. She just kind of had a gift of finding them young, finding them hungry, finding them easy to mold.
And then abusing the shit out of that.
And yeah.
She paid us well though.
She did.
Looking back, I got, that was a nice like comp increase when I got there.
I got paid well for the music industry. But
Same.
I was basing my asking was based off the advertising industry because that's what my friends were making.
Which was lower.
No, it was higher.
Oh.
So music industry, because everybody wants to work in it, I just remember leaving that job and seeing, positions that I was technically qualified for because of the amount of experience I had, and they were paying like at least $10K less than what I was making with her. And that was a huge reason why I just never went back, because I just knew I was never going to make the kind of money that I wanted to make. And so it's just, I think the music industry,
you have to negotiate.
Yeah,
but you have to like constantly be negotiating in the music industry, because like I was making the same as our other coworker who left to go to a pretty big, well-known management company. Like I was making what she was as like a top manager at that company.
Yeah, and I think that's the benefit.
That's wild.
Yeah.
For her to, some background, she managed like some pretty big artists.
Yeah.
And her and I were at the same salary at the time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I think for me at that point, it was like I like working in music on a freelance basis, but would I ever let someone in the music industry have full control over my salary, like in a full-time sense? I don't think so. It would depend on the company. I've had some freelance clients that have been really, really great to me, and I would love to be more involved with that company in a more permanent way. But at the same time, it just hasn't really worked out, and I'm not going to go out of my way to try to make that work.
Yeah.
And I just, I think for me, like working as a freelancer has worked because I get bored. I get very bogged. It's like, okay, I'm doing this. It's kind of repetitive at this point. I'm not learning anything. I want to move on to the next thing.
Right.
And that's just, I don't know. That's just the way my brain has always functioned, and that's why, I'll hop around from place to place or industry to industry and just sort of adapt and mold to my situation. Like at the end of the day, design is sort of something that everyone needs. So I never felt like any hiccups in moving around like that.
Right.
But music in particular, I don't think it would have to be like a very special case for me to go into that full time. But I like my freelance clients. I'll get free shows out of it and everything, and that makes me happy.
What's funny is the one management company that I really wanted to be at. I would die to work there. I work with now, with one of their clients.
Oh, that's nice.
And it would be weird to just switch what I do to go there, because now we're all working together on a project.
Well, that's good.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, what goes around.
Yeah. When their email, or an email from this company came in my inbox, and I was like, but It would be so weird. It would be so weird if I left to go there. Because it would be so obvious of like, oh, well, how did you get the intro into them? It's like, well, you know, my inbox. Yeah.
Worked alongside them. But that's how a lot of people switch, so that's not unusual.
Yeah, but he already has somebody doing what I would do.
Oh, okay. We kind of talked about the black cat energy thing, but not specifically that.
We can.
Yeah. It's kind of having like the same...
Black cat, here you go.
I'm in red today.
I know, why?
I don't know, I'm always in black.
Yeah, I'm always in black.
But my second favorite color is red.
I like red. I don't wear red at all, but I like it.
I like red a lot.
I wear a lot of black. I wear a lot of white.
I wear a lot of
khaki. I'm trying.
So going back to like the big family thing, part of the the drawback of having a big family is that there's a lot of funerals involved. So I kind of joke.
Sure.
Yeah, I kind of joke that I wear a lot of black because I'm always ready for a funeral, which is really dark.
I mean.
But it's also it's also a music industry thing.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I learned it the most. Stage blacks.
Stage blacks.
God. Wear black head to toe.
Yeah.
Blend in, don't stand out.
Yeah.
You should look like you're nothing and nobody to anybody.
Yeah. But to be fair, she did the same thing. She wore a lot of black.
She did, but she had no style. It's fine. Most people with money don't.
Yeah, that's the annoying part, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know, just like darker colors. For the most part.
I've been told this year, more than ever before, and this whole black cat energy thing must be like a new thing.
Air.
That I give off black cat energy. I've heard it from so many people just this year, like within the last like 2 months.
I think I've always attracted, I think it is like a TikTok or in the air, like a zeitgeist kind of thing that's coming up more now than it used to. But I came across this video of like these two friends, one's golden retriever and one's black cat. And it reminded me so much of my friendship with one of my like best women friends. And it's just like, she's such a golden retriever and she made so much effort to get to know me. And I think if she hadn't made that effort, and the way she describes me is very, very black cat, like moody, didn't want anybody to talk to her. And to be fair, like I was working and she was kind of more talkative, more social, and the way she describes it's like she wanted to be my friend so badly, partly because I was just not having it. Like I just had this energy of like, don't bother me. And then she thought of that as like a challenge. And I think the golden retriever black cat duo thing works so well because there's this really, really nice person that somehow looks at someone like me and
like wants the challenge.
Yeah, wants
like,
the challenge.
On and is like, no, you're gonna love me.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just sort of like
the greatest showman.
Just like, if you're gonna work this hard to be my friend, you're probably not too bad.
Fair.
Yeah. Because that's really like, I would say at least a third of the people that I'm friends with have started in some capacity in that way. Because again, it's like I don't necessarily search out people. I kind of let them come to me. And the really, really more aggressive ones, they like turn me off at the beginning, but they eventually grow on me because they are making so much effort. So kind of knowing that about myself and like knowing that I am, even though I don't have a cat, I do give off that energy.
I hate cats.
I don't like cats either.
I hate cats.
But I love dogs, and I've heard that like if you love to receive love, you get a dog. If you love to give love, you get a cat. Because because you have to make a lot of effort to get a cat to like you. So.
No. Cats like to scratch.
Yeah.
Cat smell. Here's what people don't tell you. And this is what really pisses me off about people who own cats. If you own a cat, whether it's in your house or whether it's in your apartment, your place stinks. Smells like fucking cat piss, and that litter box stinks. Nobody says that. People are like, oh, I have like the best litter box, you'll never smell anything. The second I walk into your home, I know there's a fucking cat in there.
Yeah.
The second.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, nobody lets you know that your dwelling will smell like that sour cat pee smell.
Yeah.
And you can try to hide it as much as you want to, your place stinks.
Yeah.
We should wrap this up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So what would you like to end this with?
I don't know. Being petty is fine. This whole episode is
Yes,
about.
being petty sometimes is okay. Being petty all the time is not.
True.
Pick and choose your battles and pick and choose what hills you want to die on. Because sometimes you will get crucified on that fucking hill if you take it too far.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can be so petty that it's like it becomes your fault.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't start off that way. I learned that.
Yeah, don't be your own worst enemy, I think.
Yeah. Or know when to call it.
True.
Know when to just like fight the good fight and then walk away from it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can stay petty for so long, you forget what you're even fighting about.
Yeah.
You can keep it
I've
going
done
on
that.
for so long that you don't even know why you're fucking angry with that person or with that situation.
No, I feel like I know. I don't.
Yeah, obviously I don't. We're learning though. We're growing.
We're learning. We're growing.
We're
We're
learning.
becoming.
We're in our 30s now. We're learning.
We're in our 30s, and we're starting a podcast
Yeah.
to talk about.
But anyways, we will see all of you guys later.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up. We gotta go.
Thanks for watching our first episode.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.